Angry guy here, and women are struggling as they approach middle age and men become passport bros. Women are struggling as they approach middle age and men become passport bros. Let's go ahead and just jump right into the video.
I have to thank every man that left me. I would have never been alone this long. and and really got to know myself. I feel that as young women,
What?
young women,
Get the French toast out of here.
we're devoting ourselves to this programming of love, and the truth is, you gotta love everything, not the poor guy that you that you decided to.
Sorry about that. Controls were a little all over the place. So she said, as young women. I mean, so she's in her 60s, maybe pushing 70 years old, and she said, as young women, we have to be careful with the programming that is pushing us towards certain things. You know, as young women, and as a result of remaining single for as long as she has, she's been able to get to really know herself. And guys, she's crying as she's talking to this person that's interviewing her, and she's saying that she's advocating, giving her reasons why it's been great that she's remained single for so long, and she's pointing out that she is still a very young person in her 60s or 70s, as young people, as young women. I mean, guys, look at the title. The title, women are struggling as they approach middle age, and men become passport bros. And I've said this before, that women struggle with accepting reality. At 60 years old, you can still have quite a bit of life left. You absolutely could. You could have 20, maybe even 30 years of life left when you're 60. However, you have to understand that you're not a young person anymore. I'll be 40 years old this year, and to a 60-year-old man, a 60-year-old guy might say that you're a young person, but I'm not drastically young. Yeah, I still have some life ahead of me, but let's be realistic. I probably have fewer days ahead of me than I do behind me. And when you can say something like that, you're no longer a young person. When you can say, I have fewer days ahead of me than I do behind me, then you're no longer a young person. A young person has their entire life ahead of them. Okay? They have the entirety of their life ahead of them. They have more days ahead of them than they do behind them. I have fewer days ahead of me, more than likely, than I do behind me. And for the days that I do have, not all of them are going to be wonderful days, because but once you hit your 70s, let's be honest, you can remain healthy and you can have an active life and you can live a very quality life. But at 70 years old, you have to come to some reasoning that you're now an older man. Okay, you can still do a lot. 60, you're still reasonably young. 70, you need to be realistic. You really do. And when you have people like this that are saying that, I'm still a young woman, when you're like 20, when you when menopause ended for you 10 to 20 years ago, you're no longer a young person. I'm just being realistic. That you're no longer a young person at that point. When you can no longer, when you know it's literally people losing touch with reality. We've talked about that. A lot of women struggle with accepting the reality of their circumstance, because if once they accept the reality of their circumstance, then very often, they'll have to accept that they are helpless in many ways. And a lot of people don't want to feel helpless in this world, but it's the honest to goodness truth. And if you waste the time that you're given here on earth, then you're never going to get that back. And it's going to be rough. By the way, guys, if you're enjoying these videos, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you already haven't. Turn on notifications, never miss another video again. And like the video so YouTube knows that you're enjoying these videos and you want to see more of them, so YouTube will show you more of them. Let's go ahead and jump back in.
Hook up with.
Translation: I could not hold on to a man whatsoever, nor could I retain one, because I was probably already drained of my oxytocin when I decided to settle down and get away from the streets and the cock carousel. But what ended up happening with this woman here is, just like other women, they make up crap, They try to join and say, oh, I'm young again. They try to reverse age themselves. They try to come up with all this excuse why they're single, why nobody wanted to deal with them, and how come they couldn't retain a man. Now they're 61, but they look 81.
It comes in waves. Most of the time, I'm okay. And then it comes and hits me like nobody's business. And honestly, I've been feeling like this a lot lately. It's love. I'm tired. I'm tired of doing it myself.
Too damn bad.
And you know how tired men are of having to deal with women who want to run the streets and then cry wolf and then, get knocked up by a Chad or a Tyrone, and then the guy doesn't want to have anything to do.
Whoa, brother. You need to stop right there. Chad, Tyrone, Ray, Pookie, and don't forget about Chadrone. Okay? That's a mix between a Chad and a Tyrone. They're very popular right now. Okay? Get it right. You need to remember that there's some brothers from another mother. All right? Don't forget those guys, because they won't forget you.
To do with you. That's crazy. But the thing is, you should have been locked down with one man when you were in your prime. Now you're crying on TikTok like all these other modern women.
I'm tired of being alone. I want to share my life with someone. I am just freaking tired. I want to be in love. I want to share my life with someone. I want to feel the joys. I want to have my hands held. I want to be held. I want to kiss. I want to support. I want my person. Why is it so hard to find your person?
Because TV, 50 Shades of Grey, The View, and all this other crap that they were feeding you, all this programming, told you that you can do all these things, be this boss babe, and at the end of the road, when your hair is gray like it is now, you'll be able to get this person. But the thing is, by the time you accomplish that crap, it's a scam, because men are not looking at you anymore for anything liable. They're looking at younger women.
It's really hard when love is the one thing you can't force, you can't make happen. Where is it?
Bro, she literally had to stop recording and pick up her thought, because women cannot describe what they're talking about. What she's telling us, what she's trying to convey, is something that she read or she's seen. This is not the movie Hitch. This is not The Notebook. Like, women really think that this is a big fairy tale.
Is it? Where is it? I'm so ready.
They all think this is The Bachelor, and dudes are supposed to be lining up, and they'll be handing out roses until they find the one they want. And then after the show's over, they realize they can't make it with this dude either. So now they're all alone. Like, guys, do you know how often that happens? Like, The Bachelor is just like a perfect reflection of society. You have these shows where, like, these women are courting all these guys, and they date all these guys, and then after the show, they break up. Like out of on the entirety of that show, maybe like 3 people ever made it. They've had like 20 seasons or 20 something seasons, and like out of the entirety of that show, maybe like 3 couples made it. Like that's the insanity. All right, not like 90 something percent of the couples on that show will break up after the show. Because every woman today thinks she's on The Bachelor. And they're all telling each other the same thing. You are worth it. Do not settle. Mr. Right is out there. Listen. It's better to be alone. It's better to be alone than to feel alone. And that is true. But modern day women can't settle for anything. No guy is good enough. And their standards, you have to remember that not only is no guy good enough, but what they're bringing to the table, they don't cook, they don't clean, they don't do domestic duties. All right? Those are things they will not do. And the guy that they're marrying, he needs to make more money than them. Not only does he have to make more money than them, but a lot of times he's either he needs to make at least 100,000. Although most women today are not even saying 100 anymore. A lot of women are saying he needs to make over 100. He needs to make 3 digits. Or he needs to make six figures, and it has to be. And when they're talking about 6 figures, they really mean like $500,000, 300 to 500,000, and that number just keeps on going up in their head And there's some women who say, oh, he needs to make at least $1 million a year. And I'm going to find my Prince Charming. I'm going to find Mr. Right. I keep telling you all about this chick that I know in Africa that used to sleep in a church. And she had so many hardships she went through. Her father passed away. Her mother is elderly. She can't hold down a job. She's constantly being taken advantage of. And you would think that this woman would have some, and she struggles with obesity. She's almost morbidly obese, and she is determined. And she does not even have, her phone is broken, and she was using the phone of someone else. Like literally, when I would speak to her, she'd have to stand by the wall because her phone couldn't hold a charge, and she never had money on her phone. She was in Nigeria, and she literally was like, I'm gonna get a guy he has to be at least 6'3". He has to be thick, so he has to be super big and muscular. So he has to be big and muscular and wealthy and empathetic and creative and fun. And she started listing off all these different things, and she said that's the bare minimum. And I said to her, you understand that only 14% of men in America are 6 feet tall or taller. And she goes, I like those odds. So from 14%, then what percent of those do you think make $100,000 a year? Because only 17% of men in America make $100,000 a year, and only 8.6% of women. 17% of men, 8.6% of women. Yeah. I mean, so you want a man that's all these things and makes all this money. When you really dwindle that down, and he has to have all these characteristics, when you really dwindle that down, we're talking about somewhere between maybe 5% and 1% of men. If even like we're like literally, that's between like 5 and 1%, somewhere between 5 and 1%. So you're dealing not even with the top 10%, because we're talking about height, guys, at least 6'3". You're never going. And look at the situation you're dealing with. And she has no humility. And she said, I'm gonna get. She says I'm gonna get it. And she's a person who believes heavily in God. And she believes that God is going to give her this man. And she's not settling. And this is the attitude of so many women today. She works at this girl. You'll have a girl that works at McDonald's, but she's all over Instagram and she's like a celebrity. And you have guys lining up to date her, and she's turning them all down because she's looking for she's looking for Chad Rome. She's looking for a prince. She makes 30. She works at McDonald's. And she's making minimum wage, but she's looking for a guy that makes more than 10 times what she makes, or she's looking for a guy that's a millionaire that's making $1 million a year. And because she has all these pictures on in bikinis and looking and with basically thirst traps, and all these guys are like, oh, you're so beautiful, in her inbox, and she thinks that she's the prize, and that she can have any guy she wants. And I'm like, what? But she's not settling because she wants an NBA player. She wants a guy who's 6'7", and a guy who has all this money, basically a plan A guy who makes tens of millions of dollars a year or hundreds of millions of dollars. All right? And a bunch of other characteristics too. Like it's beyond comprehension. And then when they realize they're not getting the plan A guy, they want the plan B guy. But the plan B guy is the guy making 6 figures, the guy who's 6 feet, the guy who has all like literally. A lot of you listening right now, y'all aren't even plan B. I'm just being real with y'all. A lot of y'all aren't even plan B guys. A lot of you are plan C guys. Plan C. Because the plan B guys are the guys making over $100,000 a year. The guys who are 6 feet tall, okay? The guys who are CEOs and have some influence. Those are the plan B guys. A lot of you listening right now, you are not plan B guys. You are plan C guys. making $60,000 a year and making 60 grand a year, and you're 5'9", and you know, and you do some remote work, and you do a bit of, and you make your money doing remote work. You're not plan B, you're plan C. Your plan come up. So if plan B doesn't work out, then plan C. Then they turn to plan C. This is how bad it is. It's sad to tell y'all the honest to goodness truth. A lot of y'all aren't even plan B. You're plan C. Your plan come up. Because with plan B, women build themselves up with plan B. But if they can't get plan B, then they go for plan C, plan come up, and they'll use you as a come up. They don't plan on having children with you. All right? C is for come up. But when it comes to children, they cross that out because they don't even plan. You're not even going to have children with them. They're not going to stick around that long. Plan D is for desperate. All right? Those are the guys those are the guys where they can't really do much for her, but they can give her a roof over her head, food to eat, and maybe help with her cell phone bill. Okay? That's plan D. So when she ends up in, that's basically, you know, it's either homelessness or that. So she goes to a plan D guy, and she wants to have nothing to do with that guy. All right? He's not even, she a lot of times she won't even let him hit. But he's not black. But D is also for dumb, because this guy is so dumb that he's allowing her to take advantage of him. And then she's going to transition, hopefully, to a plan B guy. But if she can't get to the plan B, she's going to get to one of you, plan C. So she's going to use you as a come up. So then she can get to the plan B. And the plan B guy is the guy that's making those 6 figures. And she's going to use him. She's going to try to have kids with him. She's going to try to get alimony out of him. And then she's going to use him to build her life. So then she can go and do whatever she wants. And she's going to have that subsidized for her. Because the plan B guy is going to subsidize the rest of her life. You are going to build her up and subsidize the rest of her life. That's the plan B guy. But a lot of y'all are plan C guys, and they're still angry because they don't want to lose the plan. A lot of the plan C guys are the beta male orbiters. Those are the guys that they use to pay bills and help with rent and stuff like that. All right? It's sad. It's really, really sad out here. But y'all have to be aware of it so that you don't get taken advantage of. All right? Don't be plan come up. Don't be playing come up. And guys, again, if you're enjoying this content, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications to never miss another video again, and like the video so YouTube will suggest more of my videos to you, and you can enjoy more of my wonderful daily content. Guys, that's it for now. I want to know what you think regarding this. Women are struggling as they approach middle age, and men become password bros. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA. Been walking away, and cheers.